Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Legacy Leadership Show with Adrian Chenault, the OG Tom Chenault, and one unbelievable human being and network marketer, Dr. Louis Arriaza.
Are we excited enough for this, man? Hello, Dr. Arriaza. How are you, buddy?
I'm great. How are you?
I am never, ever been better. It is such an honor to be on the radio with you, to hear your story, to let the world hear your story. You are truly one of the best network marketers I've ever known in my life. I've had the honor of working with you side by side for many, many years. I don't get you on this show enough, only because people would say, oh, it's favoritism because Tom and Louis are so close. And it would be like Rob Sperry and Brian Fryer, or Rob Sperry and Fraser Brooks, or Eric Worre and whomever. You know, it's just like
Peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter and jelly. So I didn't want to show any favoritism, but with the ANMP coming around the corner and talking to Garrett McGrath about the ANMP event, and obviously Denise talking at Most Powerful Women. I'm going to Las Vegas on Thursday for 5 days. I'll go to that unbelievable party over at Eric's house on Monday night. It's critically important any of you, especially men, go to GoPro for women. I mean, it's unbelievable. MPW 2022 is the site that you register at. And then after that, the ANMP, it's just all network marketing all the time. What do you think about Louis Arriaza, Paco?
Let's male gender that here.
Paco, yeah.
All right. So I love this guy. If there's a harder worker in the world than Dr. Louis Arriaza, I have not found that person yet. And what I really love is that he works his tail off and he has his priorities straight. And those two things in the same person don't come along that often, I don't think.
No, they don't. And it's a great day having you here, Dr. Arriaza. How are you, my friend? What's going on?
I'm wonderful. And for those of you that are watching, and you can see this on Facebook, we didn't call each other because I know we're in the same hue of light blue, sky blue. I didn't know that was even your background. I didn't know that was the color. But this is our new Spartan shirt, work hard, play hard. And that's been our mission for a very, very, very long time. We have to work very, very diligently and fulfill our responsibilities. But now we are definitely playing quite a bit, and we're thoroughly enjoying it.
So there was a state, you were like a world-class chiropractor, then you got into network marketing. And there were days when you were driving a Lambo, and everybody loved the Lambo, and you were on top of the world, and wind knocked out of your sails to the point that you were at a Starbucks. And I want you to tell the story about being at the Starbucks because it's a pretty good story. And we'll start there because I want everybody to know that even if you climb to the top and you get knocked all the way off that pedestal, if you develop your skills in network marketing, you can completely climb back up that mountain again, be better and more humble than ever before. And Dr. Louis Arriaza exemplifies that more than literally anybody I've ever met. Inside of being an unbelievable lover of God, his parents, his kids, and especially his wife. This guy is all of it in a bag of chips. He exemplifies integrity. Take it away. Tell us the Starbucks story.
Could I kind of preface the Starbucks story with what? Okay, so I graduated at the age of 24 as a doctor of chiropractic. I had wanted to be a chiropractor since I was 15 years old, so for 9 years. And it's really interesting when you're very fervent with your prayers. It's very interesting when you, as Robin Sharma says, when you have monomaniacal focus. And I didn't know that I was so focused in becoming a chiropractor, but everything around me was about that. My parents migrated to the United States many, many years ago, over 60 years ago. My father only has a 5th grade education. My mom has a 6th grade education. So what they lacked in formal education, they made up in tremendous faith and hard work. And I saw them struggle. And any type of discussion or argument that they had, since I can remember, it always revolved around the lack of money, always revolved around scarcity. And so, I said, okay, so education is going to be the ticket. And I fell in love with the with the idea of becoming a chiropractor. I graduated, but I had no business understanding. There was no successful person in my family. So I was at a seminar, and I was sitting way in the back, right, or standing in the back, because I couldn't afford the expensive seats in the front. I couldn't afford the VIP seats in the front, where all the seats are, extra cushiony, and they serve you water and beverages and maybe some hors d'oeuvres and appetizers. I was sitting way in the back with my brown bag. I had one suit and two shirts. And I really felt at that moment that God spoke to me. And I felt that God told me that the man that was speaking, he was the key to my future. And I didn't fully understand that, but I knew that that man was incredibly successful. So I waited for him to kiss all the babies and sign all the autographs. I came up to him and I said, I know you don't know me, but you have what I'm looking for. And I'm willing to do anything you ask me to do, as long as it's theologically correct, ethical, and moral. He gave me his card and said, give me a call. I proceeded to call him for 6 months. He never called me back, ever.
So exciting.
Finally, in the 7th month, he called me back. And he said, are you ready? I said, I've been ready for 6 months. I said, if you don't mind me asking you, I said, why did you wait so long? He says, because I'm going to change your life, but I need to know that you're committed. And if you were going to hem and haw because I didn't call you back, then that's not the level of commitment that I'm looking for. So he says, I'm going to help you achieve what you want to achieve under one condition. And I said, well, what would that be? He says, you cannot ask me any questions. I kind of thought about it for a second. I said, okay, let me ask you the last question before I agree to not ask you any more questions. He said, what is that? I said, why can I not ask you questions? He says, because you are a poor man, and poor people have poor thoughts. Everything that comes out of your mouth is going to be about fear and scarcity and limitation. And that's going to affect what we're going to do together. So I proceeded to not ask him any questions for the next 3 years. And I did everything he told me to do. And what he did to me more than anything is he introduced me into a philosophy, a science, and an art of success. He introduced me to a philosophy, science, and art of fulfillment. He introduced me to a philosophy, science, and art of being a good husband, of being a good father, of being spiritually grounded. And unbeknownst to me, he would just talk to me. The first year, Tommy, all we did, the first year is read the Bible. I had tried to read the Bible before, but I never understood it. He read the Bible the entire year. I had to get on a call with him 7 days a week at 7 in the morning. 7 in the morning to 8 in the morning before I opened my office. If I missed one day, our contract was broken. And when I say contract, there was no money involved. He didn't ask for 1 penny. All he asked for was for me to pay it forward. And so every day, 7 days a week for 3 years, I was on that call. First year, all he did was read the Bible and dialogue it and dissect it and discuss it. And for the next 2 years, he introduced me to a whole new world. He introduced me to the world of philosophy. He taught me how to think. He taught me something that today in the science of neuroplasticity is called metacognition. He taught me how to think about what I was thinking about. And it was something so revelatory for me. I had never, ever understood how some people had such tremendous success and how others had such horrific failures. And I realized that it came down to the single concept of controlling your thought process. So 3 years later, now I'm 27, 28. I'm happily married with my beautiful wife. And 3 years later, we made our first $1 million in business. This was 26 years ago. We made our first $1 million in business. And I didn't even know how it happened, to be honest with you. And I came to him and I said, what just happened? He says, well, your philosophy changed. The way you think, how you interpret things, the way you perceive things. You're not who you used to be. He said, and when you have made that really profound change, now he says you have the power to manifest whatever it is. He and I proceeded to have a relationship, a very beautiful relationship for 19 years. Unfortunately, last year, he passed away from COVID. But for 19 years, I would get on a call with him every day, and just listen to him speak and take notes. Often what I do with you, Tommy, very, very similar to what I do with you. Just listen, your wisdom, your knowledge, your perspective, Your philosophy is incredible. It's very powerful, and it's very duplicatable when people put it into use. So by that time, financially, we were doing really, really well, but we were out of home. I mean, I was putting in 70, 80 hours a week because we had 7 health centers. And again, my wife and I, Fabian she was pregnant, and Fabian was born in January 2001. And it was as if God just took that desire to be out of my home out of me. Now, he didn't take the desire to be successful. He didn't take the desire to be prosperous. He just took the desire to be out of my home. So my wife and I started praying about it. And we came across this Asian man, very small, relatively young Asian man. And he introduced me to the philosophy, science, and art of becoming a professional network marketer, very different than just doing network marketing. He taught me the philosophy, science, and art of becoming a professional network marketer. And we followed that philosophy. And we've been using that same philosophy for 22 years. 22 years. And I can tell you, at least in the longevity, the last 10 years have been extraordinary. But prior to getting involved in the longevity, we had our own company. And we had just been involved with the longevity. Some people had made some very, very bad decisions, and we had lost our company. So for the first time in my life, and everyone has their own journey, so I'm just sharing what happened to me. For the first time in my life, we had absolutely no income, zero. We had just started with longevity, and we weren't at Starbucks. We were at Panera Bread, and I was doing a presentation, a one-on-one table talk, coffee presentation. And this lady came in and she says, "Who drives a black Escalade?"
You have to hold off because we're going to tell the story here in a second. But you used the whole segment to get to the Starbucks story. So this is even so we'll do that in the next segment. But everybody watching and listening to this guy, he is. So I'm just going to have you sitting on the edge of your seat. I'm begging him to speak at the ANMP. He is unbelievably coachable. He is a genius in his own right. He's just a protege of all the guys, Simon Sinek, Wallace, Waddles, you name it, Think and Grow Rich, everybody. The guy is unbelievable, and I love him. I love him with all of my heart. I think he's the best of the best, and we're going to come back right after this on the Genesis Communication Network. I love Dr. Luis A. Arriaza. We'll be back right after this.
Good job, buddy.
And we're clear. Oh, man, Dr. Luis, you can't say company names, you lunatic. You're going to get me fired.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I won't say it again. That
was hilarious. I would have fired anybody.
Christina's rolling. She goes, "Tom, quit laughing."
Oh, my God. I couldn't believe it. I just stabbed Adrian. I texted Luis. He's very uncoachably coachable.
All right, we're coming right back. Hold on.
And we're back. It's the Legacy Leadership Radio Show with the great, uncoachable Luis Arriaza. You gotta love this guy with all of your heart. Family man extraordinaire. But this Starbucks story is the highlight of my life because I can see it happening to me. And the humility.
Panera story. He told you.
Panera.
Starbucks. He was wrong. I was there. I was looking through the window. It was Panera. I'm a terrible talk show host, and I wasn't listening, which is supposedly my trademark, listening. And so tell us the rest of the Panera story.
So I'm there in Panera and doing my presentation. As they say in network marketing, sharing the dream and living a nightmare. And this young lady walks back in and she's like, "Who owns a black Escalade?" And I look up at her and I don't think anything at that moment. She kind of looks around. No one says anything. She says, "Who owns a black Escalade?" But her intonation was not happy. It was almost desperate. And that's when I felt my head, my shaved head, I felt just like all the pores open up and just perspiration, right? I said, "Oh God." And then no one raised their hand. So I said, she says, "You need to get outside immediately." So I told my prospect, I told my guests to just wait a second. I walked outside. And of course, they were repossessing my car. The gentleman was already in my car driving away. Now we already had Elisha, who was like 2 years old. So I had my car seat in the back, and I'm literally physically running in the parking lot in the area, in the city that I've lived in for about 13, 14 years, running in the parking lot, yelling at the guy to throw out my car seat. I said, please, I said, I'm begging you, just leave me the car seat. And the guy, I don't know how, reached behind him, undid the seatbelt, literally threw the car seat out the window. Car didn't stop, kept rolling. I got my car seat. I turned around, and my prospect, my guest, was standing outside the door looking at me. I'll never forget. I walked up to him. I said, we can do one of two things. I said, we can end it here, or I can continue my presentation. He says, no, I think we should end it here. Then I don't know how I developed the nerve to ask him. I said, well, could you give me a ride home, because I have no money and I have no car. So he gave me a ride home. I went in, put the car seat down, went upstairs, got on my knees, and I prayed. And I said, this will never, ever, ever happen to me again. Never, ever will this happen to me again. And it was a fork in the road. It was a moment in my life that we made a decision, but a really, really deep decision, to never allow us to be in that situation again. And that was really one of the best experiences I've ever had. And it was a turning point, one of the few turning points, massive turning points in my life, because I can clearly look at that day and that moment. And from there, my wife and I, we never looked back. It was a completely different life thereafter. I knew why I was going through that after, because God was refining us. God was showing us things that we had to learn. And sometimes when things are going really, really well, we're not really good students. Often it's when we're in scarcity, when we pay most attention. So God taught us some beautiful lessons, and here we are 10 years later, and things have been incredibly abundant.
And your success over the last 10 years has completely been predicated on you never forgetting that story. So yes. What you've done better than literally anybody I know is remember that person just walking in the door that was in the same boat as you, having the empathy and the confidence to say, no, this is just a setback unless you stay down. And you did it. And I love you for that. We out of here in 10 seconds?
No.
And
yeah, you get it.
I am going to tell you one thing right now. I don't know. How does somebody find you? Do you have a website? How does somebody find you?
Yes, we have a website. It's
Don't
called
you dare say your company name. I'll kill you.
No. Can I say my website?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So it's at drlewisandevelia.com. drlewisandevelia.com. Evelia, Evelia, Dr. Lewis, Luis, DRLUIS, and Evelia.com. Or you can go to Instagram and Facebook and put in Dr. That's it right there. Or you can put in, go to Facebook or Instagram, put in Dr. Lewis Arriaza, ARRIAZA. You can find me there.
And the good news about Dr. Arriaza is it's all fundamentals. It's all duplication. It's all going by absolutely the scrolls and network marketing. He's been a stage speaker for Eric Worre. He's been a stage speaker for, obviously, the ANMP all over the world. I've never met, there was some really rough territory down along the border one time, and Dr. Lewis Arriaza just went, and I wasn't going to go, and I didn't go, but he just said, no, those people are relying on me. Nothing's going to stop me. And that's kind of like he's built his business, and having that monomaniacal focus that he's got is what all of us need. And on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about that. You haven't said a thing on the radio. Go ahead.
We'll be back right after this.
Thank you. How'd I do?
I think that was a hell of a mic drop right there.
Thank you. All right.
We're coming back here in.
Adrian's going to ask you some questions.
Yeah.
He's
otherwise I can't get a word in edgewise.
Well, I love him.
Gracious. Pretty.
Now we want to hear your success story and your philosophy and what you do every day, because it's crazy.
Sure.
We're coming back right now
In 5 seconds.
And we're back. It's the Legacy Leadership Radio Show with Adrian and Tom Chenault. I can't even get that straight. And I just want you all to know that this show is about people, not companies. And we embrace the human being at a level you wouldn't believe. We've got a company called contactmapping.com that we want you to go look at, because relationships are everything. People join you. They don't join companies. And when people start understanding that, you start understanding why a guy like Arriaza can take over a country. And he's done it. And every one of you can learn those skills. There is no reason why you can't. And I'm excited to hear more from him. Adrian, you got a question for him?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I am fascinated about in watching you do what you do is the way that you, number one, have shown such an incredible level of commitment to your family and built your business around that. And then maybe to weave into that, because we have some time here, your son Fabian is watching you right now. He has, I have watched just as the last few years, the way he has stepped up as a leader, has taken no handouts, he earned his way into leadership. And I know how proud of him you are. And so talk about how you have built this life around your business and this business around your life, because that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Tony Robbins wrote a book a long time ago, and he said, everyone should ask themselves 5 questions. And I've been asking myself these 5 questions for over 10 years. First question is, what do you want? Every day, every morning you ask yourself these 5 questions. What do you want? Why do you want it? What do you have to do to get it? Why don't you have it? How will you feel when you accomplish it? So I think for a lot of people, their biggest challenge is that they don't really know what they want. Because as my mentor said a long time ago, when the promise is clear, the price is easy. Don't ever negotiate the price, just magnify your promise. So my promise, first and foremost, is to be a disciple of God. My second promise is to be the best husband I can be. My third promise is to be the best father I can be. So everything else revolves around that. Everything else supports that. So that's the universal premise. That's my premise in life. And all the pillars below that are going to support that. That is why I find network marketing as such a beautiful vehicle to fulfill that premise. And our children, one day, they're going to want to do something, right? There's going to be somebody in the life of our children that are going to inspire them and challenge them and possibly transform them. So my wife and I took on the responsibility ever since we were married, before our kids were born. Why not us be those people? Now, we don't tell our kids what to be, but we pray to God that by our life and our lifestyle, by our philosophy, they look at us and say, hey, that's a pretty cool life. That's a great way to live your life. And that's exactly what happened with Fabian. Fabian 2 years ago graduated from high school, and he was accepted into my wife's alma mater. This was a Pacific University, a beautiful Christian university. And he was accepted, and we're like, okay, we're happy. You're gonna go and get your four-year degree, and then we're gonna, think about what you're gonna do. And shortly before school started, he sat us down and he said, Dad, he said, both of us, he says, why do kids go to college? And I said, well, the obvious, to get your degree. And he said, well, what do you do with that degree? So well, kids look for a job. They look for a career. He says, so you go to school to get a degree to find your career or your job. I said, correct. He says, but what if I already know what I want to do? And what if I've already found my teachers, my professors? And we kind of looked at him a little bewildered, and he said, I want my life like your life. So why don't I go to Spartan University? Oh, yeah. Why don't I graduate from UC Arriaza, and you and mom, right? And so he said, give me 2 years, 2 years. If I've shown no progress in this platform of network marketing in 2 years, then I go back to college. Whether I get my bachelor's degree at 21 or 23, it doesn't matter anyways. No one cares. And there's plenty of jobs after, right? So therefore he did. And now I can attest to you that he is one of the best traders in our company right now. The way he's developed himself, the discipline that he uses. I mean, he's in the office every single morning between 5:30 and 5:45, every single morning. So he works from 5:30 to 5:45, and his trading day is over by 8 a.m. He goes to the gym. He has a great life. He helps us with everything that we need to do around the house, with our business, with our kids, especially with Isaiah. He is Isaiah's mentor, my middle son. And what he's on track to accomplish in the next year to 2 years is going to be staggering. And the cool thing about it is that he's barely 21 years old. So proud is an understatement. He is an exceptional, beautiful young man.
That is so cool and so encouraging. And you gave him the choice, and you gave me the choice.
Yeah,
exactly. I was about to say that it's very, very, very similar. Exactly.
Yeah. And I made a different choice than Fabian made out of the gate, right? I was not ready.
I told him to come on.
He's
home.
Okay.
I told him to do it. Say hi to Fabian, everybody. How about that? Is he lying or is it
we have a rule when we're working, no one comes in. So I'm looking at him like, what's going on? Okay, awesome. Here you go.
No, Evelia, you cannot come on with them, but this is so exciting.
Fabian, hey, we can get the whole family here if you want.
That's it.
Fabian, is it just unbelievable to be able to see your dad's life and literally live your life into what he's accomplished and do it your own way, a different way, but the same way?
Oh, it's amazing. And it's so inspirational. And every day, I wake up extremely grateful. Like he told a story that I get to have not only my 2 parents, but my 2 professors, my 2 mentors at home here with me every day. So I get to learn just by hanging out with them. So that's why I am so happy with my decision and how everything's turning out. And I just can't wait.
Mm-hmm.
And not only are you teaching people to trade Forex, you are becoming a really disciplined Forex trader yourself, right?
Yes. I'm working hard.
Super cool. And what a way to get kids up in the morning is going out there and hopping on there and trading some Forex. So very proud of you, Fabian. And I knew that was going to be a great, you and your 2 brothers are your dad and your mom's pride and joy. Nothing is better than every day being take your parents to work day, which these kids are doing. And thank you. So unbelievable, Fabian. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Uncle Tom.
And basically, all you're doing,
thank you guys,
is you're teaching people and your kids
what
you so freely got. You got the wisdom from all these other people. You embraced it, and now you're teaching it. And what you're teaching to your kids, you're teaching to the world. And I'm so proud of that, because if it's good enough for the world, it's good enough for your kids. And if it's good enough for your kids, it's good enough for the world. And when it's that deal where you're not bringing your kids into the business, that you're really telling the world that you don't want them to do that. And what you did was you gave them the choice, let them look at your life and choose it. And I'm extremely proud of you and Fabian for making that decision.
Thank you, Tommy. It's just a beautiful thing. Often, very, very, very often, especially the last month, my wife and I, we last month, we've been in this space of just tremendous supernatural blessings. And we talk about it very frequently. It's just been unbelievably believable. And when it all began, it began because one man used the power of the spoken word, and it began to change my life. And I've always found that so fascinating, how a person can change and impact and transform others with the power of the spoken word. Nothing else is needed. Tom, you do that with people every day. Adrian, you do that with people every day. You know, my mentor said a long time ago, he said, you never know how far reaching what you may say, think, or do today will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. It is better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. Get the big idea and all else will follow. And that's what you do. And that's what I aspire to do, is help people get the big idea. Because once they get the big idea, the rest is simple.
Talk to me about the future of network marketing, where you see it going, why you're so excited about your life. I don't want you to throw an income goal or anything out there. We don't want anybody saying that we're doing that. But how big can you, I know what your goals are because you tell me, and they are bodacious, folks. What's the future of this profession, in your opinion?
In 2 minutes.
It's just getting started, Tom. You know, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said in 2 minutes or less.
It's just getting started, you know, and I say this very, very respectfully, very cautiously. I know COVID was a tremendous challenge for so many people. And Tom, you know, it was a challenge in our household in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
But at the same time, COVID brought many blessings. And it made us do things that we were supposed to do maybe some years ago, but there wasn't a tremendous need for it. Necessity breeds creativity. So we had to become more creative. And now what I call a PCS, the post-COVID syndrome, now people are looking at their lives and saying, maybe there's more to this. Maybe I don't have to have the 9-to-5 grind. Maybe I don't have to continue in the rat race. I love what Robin Sharma says. He says, you may be winning in the rat race, but you're still running like a rat. You know what I mean? You may be moving and moving and moving, but you're not progressing. So where we see ourselves now is that network marketing as a whole, it doesn't matter who you're with or where you're with, network marketing as a whole has become incredibly valuable to people, because what they thought was sure, what they thought was certain has changed. And now people are very, very much interested in reinventing themselves. And we're at the forefront of that transformation. I mean, that's what we do.
Yeah. And when you understand how powerful your words are, and that you've got the ability to literally transform somebody's life, you better take it seriously, because people out there are searching for you at a level that you would not believe. But they're watching your relationship to your word and saying, will that guy treat me that way? And I'll tell you, Dr. Louis Arriaza will. So during the break, go to drlewisandevelia.com. Go to mpw2022.com, Most Powerful Women, and you'll get to see Denise speak at GoPro for Women. We'll be back right after this. How about Denise? Is she going to win our Best Commenter Award?
She's the rock
star. That woman can fight.
She loves you.
Yeah, Evelia's on here. This is very, very cool. We wouldn't let Denise, she's right over there, but we wouldn't let her come on camera. So stay right there, honey. But it's awesome. So Fabian, was that a joy getting to see that little whippersnapper come on?
That was cool.
I love it.
Right.
I love it. Thank you.
We're coming back right now. All right, we're back. It's final segment, Legacy Leadership Radio. Adrian and Tom Chenault. We've got Dr. Louis Arriaza. I'll tell you what, I will stand this guy up with skills, with motivation, with spirituality, with integrity against anybody in the profession. I'm honored to know the guy. He's just a breath of fresh air to me every day. When I get down, he's the guy I call, because he doesn't give himself that luxury. And he's got a little boy named Isaiah, who happens to be like the best schoolboy quarterback in the state of California right now. All the big colleges are offering him letters of intent. His little brother, Elisha, is a up-and-coming baseball player, 4.0 student. You already saw Fabian. It is a family of unbelievable accomplishment, and it all starts at the top, Evelia and Louis. You people instilled that in those kids, and look at the result. Great job, you guys.
Thank you, Tommy. It's and a lot has to do with my wife. You know, one of these days you have to have Evelia on this show, because she is just, we just happy Mother's Day to all the mommies on Sunday, and today's Mexican Mother Day. Happy Mother Days to all the Latina mommies. But what she does every day, as you know, Tom, we have our 3 boys, and then we take care of my mom, who's 92, and my mother-in-law, who's 96.
That all live in your house.
Yeah, we're all in our home. Yeah, all in our home.
And then down the hill, you bought another house, and your dad lives there.
And about 500-600 yards away, we bought another home in this hilltop, and my dad and his wife live there. So my dad is 83, 84. Thank God that he's in relatively good health. And so, it's very, very, very challenging, very difficult. We always say that we have 5 kids, 3 boys and 2 girls. And the 2 girls are my mom and my mother-in-law. And often the 2 girls are much worse than the 3 boys, right? But what my wife does is unbelievable. Truly, 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 truly unbelievable. If you talk about being a servant and you talk about compassion, that's who she is. That's, there's spiritual gifts, and God gave her that gift because it just comes it's not easy. It's very difficult, but it just comes out of her. So, in our household, people always say we should have a reality show because there's always something happening in our household. So yeah, it's always a busy household, and we are very, very blessed. We feel very blessed to be able to see our boys succeed and thrive in their own way. And to be honest with you, we expect that. Like we tell them, if you control your thoughts and you have clear intention, there's absolutely nothing you can't accomplish. It doesn't matter whether it's in a sport related endeavor or academic endeavor or business endeavor. If you're clear with your thoughts and clear with your intention, nothing's impossible.
So what's the most amount of people that you've had at a function in your house?
Gosh, in our house, let me see, just any function. Well, we just celebrated my mother-in-law's 95th birthday last year, and I think we had about 350 people
in the house.
Yeah. Well, house and our basketball court and a Rama pool. Yeah, about 350 people. And that, again, my wife has many, many, many talents, and one of her many talents is being one of the most outrageous event planner you'll ever come across. And she planned this, and it was amazing. So that was a huge event. 3 years ago, my wife celebrated my 50th birthday. You and Denise were there. And we had about 250 people there, and that was just insanely awesome. So yeah, about 250 to 350 at our home.
That is insane. And you guys, this is coming from a repossessed Escalade in a decade, because I want you to think about that. And all he's doing at this whole show, he's not talked about himself one time. He's not talked about his accomplishment. He's talked about everybody but him, because this business is about that, right, Louis? It's about making other people shine, which elevates you, correct?
That's what's most interesting. I just did a one-on-one yesterday, actually 2 days ago, with a gentleman, and he said, what's in it for you? I said, what's in it for me is that you succeed. I said, if you don't succeed, I don't succeed. So it's very, very different from corporate America. It's very different than having a job. Having a job, someone's waiting for you to slip. Someone's waiting for you to mess up. Someone's waiting for you to make an error. Here, no, I will coach you, help you, and guide you. Because if you do well, then I will do well. If you don't do well, then I don't do well. And I'm in the business of doing well. So I have a vested interest in people doing well, which is incredible. I mean, what a novel idea, right? For others to want you to succeed, for others to want you to prosper, for others to want you to be blessed. Gosh, that's incredible. And that's what you find when you're in a healthy environment in network marketing.
You're the man. We love you. Thank you for coming on. You have been about as good as a show can get. Everybody, and the show's going to end, but I'm going to keep you on for a couple minutes. But next week, we've got Ken Walls, and most of you have never heard of him. I got him from Richard Brooke and Joe Soto. He's the man behind the visibility of Grant Cardone and all these people, and he is a streaming video expert. And if you talk to anybody, that's where Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, everything's going to video. So we thought we would give you the expert there to light you up on that. What's going on inside of contact mapping these days? You got a few seconds.
Yeah, you just better be watching. I'll tell you that much. We are putting the final bows on a completely new website, a new look and feel. some big changes to the way our model works that you are going to love. And so if you haven't done it already, the moment to go to contactmapping.com/app and get yourself plugged in there is right now.
Yeah. Trust me, this meeting in 2 days, you better get in there quick because you're going to be blown away in 2 days. So that's all I'm going to tell you. We'll see you all in the fall, if at all. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time. All right, Lewis, you got any after the show tips for these poor people? You taught them nothing. Nothing. Lewis Waddles. How do you like that guy?
I love Wallace Waddles. Are you kidding me? I love him. The Science of Getting Rich.
How often do you read books like that?
Every day. Every day.
Every day.
Not necessarily just reading books, but whether it's reading or listen to an audio or watching a video, it is every day before I take Elijah to school. So at 7:30, every day before 7:30, I'll read, watch, or listen to anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour of something, and it's usually Think and Grow Rich. It's usually Robin Sharma, Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton. It's something dealing with how to take your mind, how to control your mind, how to tell your mind what to do, and how to make your body follow. Because once somebody gets the formula of transformation, then everything else becomes a lot easier.
How come you didn't mention Caroline Leaf?
I love her. I've had her at our events twice. Yeah.
Pulled that one right out, didn't I?
That's it. Now, can I answer this question?
Yeah.
What's a book that you recommend to a new person in your team?
Yes.
So every year, every January, we spend 4 to 5 weeks reading Think and Grow Rich. So Think and Grow Rich has been a book that I have read with my family and with my team for the last 20 years, every January. There's 13 principles in Think and Grow Rich. There's 13 principles to success. And there's 31 reasons why people fail. And if you can commit those 13 principles and 31 reasons to memory, and you start to conceptualize it, Think and Grow Rich will radically change your life.
Yeah. Well, we love you. And your kids are proof positive. Your success is proof positive. What you're doing, people say, how do I do that? And all Lewis says is do what I do. And that's all you do is tell people to do what you do, not what you say, do what you do. Right. And to be that guy takes a heck of a lot of work and discipline, especially when you've made it to the top. When you're desperate and starving to death, it's easy to get up there because you have to. You've got the gift of desperation. But when you've made a couple of bucks and you've got some success, it's kind of easy just to sit in that ivory tower and tell people what to do. I've never caught you doing that. And I want you to know that's what I love most about you, believe it or not. How do you like that?
I appreciate it, Tony. I appreciate it.
I love you.
Look at you. I love you. Now, I thought this was going to go on until 3 o'clock.
No, it's a 1 hour show, man. We don't have the money for a 3 o'clock show. It's on.
Oh, okay.
We took the commercials out.
Got it.
We didn't have any commercials. We did that because Richard Brooke was always complaining about the commercials, just not, because it was all kinds of stuff. So during the show part, that's why we had those little breaks for the radio. So it's perfect for the radio. And then this after show, you can cuss, you can spit, you can get all mad, you can do whatever you want. Now take off your shirt. Pretty cool.
All right. I love you. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Adrian.
So much. Love you and your whole family. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.